Hey guys, and welcome to Gravey's Brewery, here on Gravey's Brew Reviews, with me, Gravey. Now then guys, for this video, as you saw from the title at the beginning, as you can see from the title below, and as you can see from my surroundings, it's Brew Day. And for this one, I'm going to be showing you how to brew a 6-pack of IPA in around about 1 hour. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, how can you brew a 6-pack of IPA in 1 hour? Well, for this one, this is going to be a very simple recipe, because the majority of the fermentables in this beer is going to be 500 grams of light Spraymalt. Of course, there's also about 3 litres of water and an ounce of hops. My hops of choice, I say hops of choice, they're the only ones I've got, is an ounce of Cascade. And by the time it's all said and done, by the time it's fermented out, I should end up with a beer just like this one. As a matter of fact, this is the same beer I'm going to show you how to make. This is the same one that I brewed about 2 weeks ago. Cheers. Anyway, for those of you that have brewed with Spraymalt before, you'll know that don't necessarily need this water to be too hot to get it dissolved. So I'm going to cut this bit short because I think this should be coming up to a good temperature in order to start to dissolve the Spraymalt. So give us a few minutes to check and I'll be right back. Alright guys, we're back, and as you can see, I've got my camera pointed to my brew pot. As I said, I've got about 3, maybe 3.5 litres of water in this pot. And we're starting to get a few bubbles now coming into this. This water's around about 39, just over 40 degrees. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add my 500 grams of Spraymalt. So I'll get this in bit by bit. Because as you could, I say bit by bit because, well, hopefully you can see just how clumpy Spraymalt can get, or does get. And I will say one thing, the one thing I do like about using Spraymalt in order to brew is how much and how quickly it makes the kitchen smell of Ovaltine. It's one from my childhood. I'm sure many a childhood out there watching this. And again, as you can see, or as you may be able to see, I don't know, there are quite a few lumps of the DME still in this beer, or in this wood. They're going rather quickly, rather nicely, rather quickly. So I think what I'm going to do here, guys, because what I need to wait for now is for the work to come to a boil. So I think what I'm going to do here, guys, is I'm going to shut the camera off just so that I can make sure that all this extract is dissolved. It is more or less. And you don't really want to hear me rub it on for however long it's going to take for this work to come to a boil. Right, so I'll give that a few minutes for this to come to a boil, and we'll move on to the next bit, which is to add 10 grams of the Cascade hops. And I don't think I mentioned this in the first part, the boil time for this this particular beer, why it only takes an hour to brew more or less, is because the boil itself only goes on for 15 minutes. Once the boil has reached, that is, and I've added my first hops, we go for 15 minutes. I add my first hops, my first lot of hops, 10 grams at 15 minutes, which is the start of the boil. I'll add a further 18 grams at flame out once the 15 minutes has elapsed, and then you know the rest. Got to cool the work down and pitch the yeast, but I will show you the entire process so that you know exactly what to do. Alright guys, well, once again, just going to wait for this work to come to a boil, so I'll see you back here in a few minutes. Alright guys, we're back, and as you can see now, I have hit the boil. This is the hop break. As you can see, there's a lot of foam. Now this is going to take a minute or two to die down. Probably won't take too long if I get a bit of a stir on. Just try and get rid of some of this foam. You don't really want to add your hops just yet, because again, all this foam, it might just, the addition of the hops right now might just activate a boil over in your brew kettle. So really, you just want to give this a gentle stir, just try and get that get the foam down as much as possible. In fact, you might be able to see when I add the hops very shortly what I mean by the foam building up. Okay, so I think we are just about there on a nice rolling boil. Near enough. Yes, I think that will do nicely. So right now, once again, 10 grams of Cascade hops. In they go. And as you can see, I don't know how well you can see it, but you might be able to see that those hops have broken down now with the heat. Did cause just a little bit of extra foam. So now, what do we do from here is simply let this go now for 15 minutes. So, see you in 15 minutes, guys. Alright guys, well, time's up. It's been 15 minutes. So I'm now going to turn the heat off, and I'm going to add 18 grams of more Cascade. Add that in there. Just give that a little stir just to get those hops mixed in. And now the next thing I have to do is I have to find a way to cool this down to pitching temperatures. I think the temperature around about now with this is probably going to be over or around about 100 degrees Celsius. The only way I can do this next bit, the cooling, is by immersing the wort in a sink of cold water. I know there'll be a few of you guys out there right now cursing me for saying that, but I do intend to purchase a wort chiller very soon. So once again, I'm going to put this in a sink full of water. It's probably going to take about another half hour to cool the wort down to pitching temps, by which time hopefully I'll be able to come back, give you a starting gravity, pitch the yeast and finish things off. So once again guys, see you in a second. Alright guys, we're back. Took a little while longer than what I expected. Did that last bit, having to cool the wort down. As I said in that last bit, I am going to invest in a wort chiller to be able to get it down quicker. Time round about now is, give me a second, be right back. Looking at 5 to 9. I started this around about, I think it was around about 7:30, give or take, 7:15, so nearly an hour and a half, 90-minute IPA you could almost call it. I know one or two companies out there might have a bit of a problem with that, so I won't refer to it as a 90-minute IPA. As you can see, hopefully, here is my bucket of wort. I have yet to pitch the yeast. I've also got the a sample, excuse me. I also have a sample here with the hydrometer. I'm looking at around about 1.046. Couldn't get the wort down any further than around about 24 degrees. I think I did check on my ABV calculator on my iPhone. I think that's probably going to be around about 4.7% ABV. A little bit lower than what I was kind of hoping, but I'm not, I'm not too disappointed. I'm actually quite pleased that it is over 4.5. I was kind of expecting it, or I thought it might have ended up round about below 4 point, as you know, 4.1, 4.2. So 4.7, not a bad estimate, not a bad potential ABV. All that's left now is to pitch the yeast, and one thing that I tend to do most often than not, and I know once again, I know a few brewers out there will be cursing under your breaths at me saying this, but I'm going to pitch this entire package, mostly because I don't have any other dry malt extract or any more packets of dry malt extract in order to make another beer, so half of this yeast will be going to waste. Plus I've heard that unless you have your yeast really securely packed up or packaged, once it's opened it can dry fairly quickly, or it does become susceptible to infection, which might not work in your beer. Anyway, again, as I said, I'm just going to yeast on top of the beer, just make sure every last little bit is out. Yes, more or less. And with this clean and sanitised spoon, I'm just going to get that yeast stirred in. I prefer to stir in my yeast, it just helps the yeast rehydrate fairly quickly, or quicker than just leaving it on top of a small amount of foam. So just give that a gentle little stir. And I'm just going to rest the lid on top. I'm not going to close it off because, as you can see, there's no airlock on this fermenter, or in the lid there's no grommet, so I can't exactly I can't exactly close the fermenter or the lid. Alright guys, well, my apologies for this video being so long. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it gave a few of you starter brewers out there a little idea as to another method of brewing you can do, getting away from the kits, and hopefully getting you able to get into using some hops, which was the whole idea behind this method of brewing. Gives you a little bit of a feel of a oil grain, although again it is just dry malt extract. But again, you can add your own hops. Again, an ounce is really all you need. If you want to add an extra 10 grams, kind of like 5 minutes before the end of the boil, that's up to you. On the subject of like the hops and the using how I come to use the hops, as you'd expect, the hops that usually go in for the whole duration, in this case I think it was 10 grams, yes it was, they are the bittering hops. I will admit that the hops don't exactly give off a whole lot of bittering in this method. Gives off a little bit of a bittering, but the aromas and flavours are really what you get out of this kind of extract out of this method of brewing, extract brewing. On the subject, smells a little rather nice. Oh, tastes nice. Tastes nice. There's a little bit of a sweetness there. That will probably be some residual sugars from the wort. So I will give that a week to ferment. In about a week I'll come back and I will give you the results of the final gravity. I'll give you a look at what it looks like, and hopefully I'll be able to tell you some more. Alright guys, well once again, my apologies for this video being so long. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it gave you some ideas as to what you can do in terms of brewing. If it did, let's get some discussion going guys. Drop me comments down there in the comments section. We'll get some discussion going, and for anybody that is used to doing this kind of brewing, this method of brewing, let us know what you did. What hops did you use? What intervals did you add your hops at? Let's get some discussion going guys. Alright guys, well that's all I've got for you for now. So from Gravey's Brew Reviews, this has been Gareth Goes Gravy. and I'll see you later.